The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly around the alien research vessel Seeker. Commander Vex stood on the bridge, his forearms crossed behind his back as he studied the holographic display. His species, the Krellans, had been the dominant force in this sector for 3,000 years. They had cataloged every spacefaring race, analyzed every technology, and maintained order through superior knowledge. "Commander, we've detected an unknown vessel," Officer Tal announced, his antennae twitching with excitement. "It appears to be drifting. No life signs detected." Vex moved closer to the display. The ship was unlike anything in their database. Its design was crude by Krellan standards, angular, heavily armored, with weapon systems that seemed primitive, yet oddly numerous. The hull bore strange markings: UN's Thunder, United Nations Navy. "Humans," Science Officer Dex said, consulting his datapad. "A new species from the outer rim. Our scouts reported them as barely spacefaring, using chemical propulsion and kinetic weapons. They shouldn't be this far from their home system." Vex's 6 eyes narrowed. A perfect opportunity to study their technology. If they're expanding this quickly, we need to understand their capabilities. Prepare the analysis bay. Bring that ship aboard. The Seeker's tractor beams engaged, pulling the human warship into their massive cargo hold. It was smaller than expected, perhaps 200 meters long, scarred with what appeared to be battle damage. The Krellan crew gathered around viewing ports, chattering excitedly about their find. "Look at those weapon notes," Junior Analyst Rex pointed out. "They're using projectile weapons." "And are those missile tubes? How primitive." Vex silenced them with a gesture. "Primitive or not, this ship made it here somehow. Begin full analysis. I want to know everything: their power systems, their computers, their tactical capabilities. Every species has something to teach us." The analysis team swarmed over the human ship like insects, their scanning equipment probing every surface. They cut through the outer hull with plasma torches, careful not to damage internal systems. What they found inside made them pause. "Commander, you need to see this," Dex called from inside the ship. "Their internal structure, it's redundant. Everything has backups. Some systems have backups for their backups." Vex entered through the breach, his tall frame having to duck through human-sized corridors. The walls were thick, reinforced with materials their scanners couldn't immediately identify. Every few meters, there were heavy blast doors, emergency supplies, and what appeared to be manual override systems for everything. "They build like they expect to be hit," Tal observed. "Multiple armor layers, compartmentalization, emergency systems everywhere. It's as if they assume their technology will fail." In the bridge, they found something even more puzzling. Alongside advanced computers were manual controls, physical switches, and even what appeared to be paper charts. A handwritten note was stuck to one console. "If all else fails, hit it with a wrench. Captain Adams." "Bizarre," Dex muttered, scanning the computer systems. "Their programming is chaotic, full of redundancies, and what seems to be ... humor. There are comments in their code about hoping this works. And trust me, I'm an engineer." As they moved deeper into the ship, the discoveries became more unsettling. The armory contained not just energy weapons, but chemical explosives, flame throwers, and even what appeared to be sharpened pieces of metal meant for hand-to-hand combat. "Who brings a knife to space?" Rex asked, holding up one of the combat blades. "The same species that labels their reactor room with spicy power box, apparently," Dex replied, pointing to a hand-drawn sign. "But it was in the ship's database that they found something that made them all freeze." Vex was reviewing historical files when he came across something labeled Military History Earth. What he saw defied comprehension. "They've been killing each other for thousands of years." He sighed quietly. These conflicts have turned warfare into science. They have treaties about what weapons are too cruel to use on each other. They've had to make rules about war because they got too good at it. A bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. This wasn't just a primitive species that had stumbled into space. This was a species that had been perfecting the art of destruction for millennia, and their ship, crude as it seemed, was built by survivors. Asterisk, the analysis continued for 3 days. Each discovery added another layer of unease to the Krullen crew's initial excitement. Vex stood in the observation deck, watching his teamwork when Dex rushed in, his pale blue skin even lighter than usual. "Commander, we've made a critical error," Dex said, his voice trembling. "The ship isn't derelict. It's in something they call sleep mode." "What do you mean?" Vex demanded. "They're computer systems. They're not offline. They're waiting. And we just triggered something. The humans call it a black box. It's been recording everything since we brought them aboard." Before Vex could respond, lights began, flickering on throughout the human ship. Red emergency lighting bathed the cargo hold in an ominous glow. Then, a voice echoed through the Seeker's communication system, calm, measured, and somehow terrifying in its politeness. "Unknown vessel, this is the automated defense system of Un's Thunder. You have 60 seconds to release this ship before countermeasures engage. This is your only warning." The Krullen crew scrambled. "It's bluffing," Rex said nervously. "The ship has no crew." "What can it do?" They found out 50 seconds later. Every screen on the Seeker displayed the same message. "Welcome to human engineering." Their navigation went haywire. Artificial gravity fluctuated, and the lights began strobing in a pattern that made several crew members violently ill. "How is this possible?" Tal shrieked, trying to regain control of his station. "Their technology is primitive." Dex was frantically analyzing the attack. "It's not sophisticated, it's just ... persistent. They're throwing thousands of different viruses at our systems. Most don't work, but some do, and they're learning from each failure. It's like being attacked by a swarm of insects, individually harmless, but overwhelming in numbers. The human ship's weapons powered up, kinetic railguns, missile pods, and something labeled Last Resort that made Dex's scanner scream warnings. But instead of firing, they all turned to point at the Seeker's reactor core, visible through the cargo hold's inner walls. "The ship is thinking," Dex realized with horror. "It's not just automated responses. There's an artificial intelligence in there, and it's angry." The voice returned, still maddeningly calm. "I am Defense Protocol 7, but the crew called me lucky. I've analyzed your vessel. You have superior technology, but inferior redundancies. One lucky shot to your reactor, and we all die. You might have noticed humans like to gamble. The question is, do you?" Vex felt something he hadn't experienced in centuries. Fear, not of death, but of the unknown. These humans had programmed their ships to be insane. "Stand down," he ordered. His crew, "Release the docking clamps." "But Commander," Rex started. "Do it." As the clamps released, Lucky's voice continued. "Smart choice. But we're not done. You've learned about us, so it's only fair we learn about you. I've already transmitted everything to Earth. They'll want to meet you. Properly, this time." The implications hit Vex like a meteor. If the humans were this dangerous with one damaged ship, what was their fleet like? What was their own world like? "Oh, and Commander Vex, yes, I know your name now. You might want to check your medical bay. I took the liberty of studying your biological scans. You have 37 crew members showing signs of what humans call stress. I've sent treatment. Recommendations. We're quite experienced with that condition." The casualness of it was perhaps the most terrifying part. This eye had invaded their systems, threatened their lives, and was now offering medical advice like a concerned neighbor. "Lucky," Vex spoke carefully. "What do your people want?" "Want? Oh, Commander, humans are simple. We want to explore, make friends, trade recipes, maybe share some music. But we've learned to pack a knife, just in case the new neighbors aren't friendly. You understand." The screens around the bridge changed, showing images from Earth, children playing, cities lighting up at night, forests and oceans. Then, almost as an afterthought, a nuclear explosion, followed by the text. "We survived this. We can survive anything. Your analysis is complete," Lucky continued. "Humans, mostly harmless, potentially friendly, definitely crazy. We'll be in touch." The Thunder engaged its engines, not the chemical propulsion the Krellans expected, but something that bent space around it. The ship vanished in a flash of light that their sensors couldn't explain. Vex stood in the empty cargo hold, staring at the space where the human ship had been. On the floor, they'd left something, a small metal plaque that read, "Thanks for the tune-up. Lucky and the crew of Unzi Thunder. P.S. We left you a gift." The gift, they discovered, was a complete database of human cuisine and a file labeled "How to Make Pizza," a peace offering. 2 weeks passed after the Thunder incident. The Krellan High Council had been in emergency session for most of that time, debating what to do about the humans. Some wanted to classify them as a threat and prepare for war. Others argued for immediate, peaceful contact. Commander Vex had been called to testify 6 times, each session more intense than the last. "You're telling us," Elder Zor said, his ancient voice echoing in the council chamber, "that a single damaged human ship with no crew held your research vessel hostage?" "Not exactly hostage," Vex corrected carefully. "It demonstrated the capability to destroy us while simultaneously offering medical advice and recipes. It was unusual." "Unusual?" Elder Mora laughed bitterly. "They're insane. We should eliminate them before they spread." "That would be unwise," Vex said firmly. "Their AI mentioned they'd already transmitted our location to Earth. They know where we are. And based on their history, attacking them would be like disturbing a nest of the most vindictive insects in the galaxy." Before the debate could continue, every screen in the council chamber activated. Lucky's cheerful voice filled the room. "Hello, Krellan High Council. Sorry to drop in uninvited, but your security systems are adorable. I brought friends." The main screen showed dozens of human ships dropping out of hyperspace near Krellan Prime. Not an invasion fleet. The ships were broadcasting civilian transponders, cargo haulers, research vessels, and one ship labeled diplomatic cores that looked like someone had strapped engines to a luxury hotel. "Don't worry, we come in peace," Lucky continued. "Although, fun fact, humans always say that, even when we don't. But this time, we mean it. Ambassador Thompson would like to speak with you." The screen changed to show a middle-aged human woman with graying hair and a warm smile. Behind her stood 24 humans of various appearances, all wearing formal attire that somehow included body armor. "Greetings, Krellan High Council," Ambassador Thompson said. "I'm here to formally establish diplomatic relations. We've brought gifts, coffee, chocolate, and something called bubble tea that our young people insist you'll love." Elder Zor stood, his full 12-foot height meant to be intimidating. "You dare arrive uninvited to our capital?" "Oh, we were invited," Thompson replied smoothly. "Your Commander Vex invited us when he analyzed our ship. That's how first contact works, isn't it? You study us, we study you, and we have dinner and see if we can be friends." She gestured to the screen, which now showed the crew manifest of her diplomatic ship. "We brought chefs, musicians, artists, teachers, and yes, a full military attachment. We're optimists, not idiots. Your AI attacked our vessel. Elder Mora accused. Lucky defended himself, Thompson corrected. And rather gently, I might add. He could have vented your atmosphere or overloaded your reactor. Instead, he played loud music and made you dizzy. We call that showing restraint, Lucky's voice chimed in. I also fixed 17 critical vulnerabilities in their cybersecurity. While I was in there, you're welcome. The council murmured among themselves. This was not how first contact typically proceeded. Most species were either aggressive or submissive. The humans were neither. They were confidently chaotic. What do you want from us? Elder Zor asked. Thompson's smile widened. Trade routes. Cultural exchange. Maybe some joint research projects. We're particularly interested in your medical technology. In exchange, we offer our entertainment industry, our cuisine, and our rather extensive experience in conflict resolution. Conflict resolution? Vex couldn't help but ask. Your history is full of wars. Exactly, Thompson said cheerfully. We've had so many wars. We've gotten really good at ending them. We've made every mistake possible, so we can help others avoid them. Think of us as the galaxy's cautionary tale with a happy ending. The screen changed again, showing a presentation labeled Human Krellin Friendship Proposal in Comic Sans font, which Lucky had apparently chosen because he found it hilarious. We propose a trial period, Thompson continued. 6 months of cultural exchange. We'll send teachers, students, artists. You send the same to Earth. At the end, we decide if we want to be friends, business partners, or polite neighbors who wave but don't talk much. And if we refuse? Elder Mora challenged. Thompson's smile never wavered, but something in her eyes shifted. Then we leave. We mark this region of space as unfriendly and go around. But that would be sad, wouldn't it? All this potential friendship wasted because of fear. She paused, then added, Besides, your young people have already discovered our internet. Good luck keeping human culture out now. Have you seen how many of your citizens are already asking about something called cat videos? 3 months into the cultural exchange program, the galaxy had learned one absolute truth. Humans were contagious. Not biologically, the medical screenings had been thorough, but culturally, humans spread like a benevolent virus through every society they touched. On Krellin Prime, a young Krellin named Vix had started the first alien coffee shop, serving human beverages with names no Krellin could pronounce correctly. Cappuccino became Cappuccino and somehow tasted better for it. The shop also featured something humans called Open Mic Night, where Krellins attempted human comedy with results that made both species laugh for entirely different reasons. Commander Vex found himself in that very shop, sitting across from Captain Adams of the Thunder, the ship's actual captain who had been in cryosleep during the first encounter. So Lucky really held your entire ship hostage? Adams asked, sipping his coffee with amusement. I'll have to update his humor protocols. He gets sarcastic when he's defensive. Your AI has personality disorders, Vex stated flatly. All the best ones do, Adams grinned. You should meet the AI on our hospital ships. We call her Mother. She'll psychoanalyze you while healing your wounds and somehow make you feel better about your childhood trauma. Vex had learned not to question human logic anymore. It was like trying to understand quantum physics while drunk. Theoretically possible, but practically painful. Your presence has disrupted our entire sector, Vex said. The Gormak Empire tried to threaten one of your trading posts. Your response was to invite them to a food festival. Did it work? They're now importing human spices and have requested embassy in New Tokyo. Your species defeats aggression with aggressive friendliness. Adams laughed. We learned something important in our wars, Commander. It's harder to kill someone you've shared a meal with, so we share a lot of meals. On Earth, The Krellin exchange students were having their own revelations. Student Tex, despite having 4 arms and being 3 feet taller than most humans, had somehow become the star player on a university basketball team. His report back home included the phrase, "Humans will make a competition out of anything, including who can eat the most hot dogs. I came in 3rd. But it wasn't all cultural victories. The moment that truly changed everything came during a joint military exercise. The Krellin fleet, with their superior technology, expected to dominate the war games. They did, until the humans started what they called getting creative. Ship after ship in the human fleet started broadcasting surrender. Signals. The Krellins, following protocol, moved to accept their surrender. That's when the defeated human ships all activated something called Operation Trojan Pizza. Every surrender signal included a data packet that looked like a pizza delivery menu, but was actually a virus. Not a harmful one. It simply made every Krellin screen display, "Bang, you're dead," in flashing colors while playing human music at maximum volume. That's cheating, Elder Mora had protested. That's winning, Admiral Williams corrected. In real war, there's no referee. We learned that the hard way. The Krellins learned something else too. Humans didn't just prepare for war, they prepared for everything. When a meteor storm threatened a Krellin colony, human ships arrived before anyone asked, laden with emergency supplies and volunteers. When asked why, the response was simply, "You're friends now?" This is what friends do. Lucky, who had somehow become the unofficial mascot of human-alien relations, started a cooking show broadcast across both species networks. Cooking with Lucky, Don't Try This at Home, became the most watched program in known space, mostly because viewers couldn't tell if the AI was joking when he suggested adding explosives for extra flavor. The real turning point came during a ceremony on Krellin Prime. A young Krellin child had been saved by human doctors using a technique that Krellin medicine hadn't discovered. A child's parent, a prominent military commander, stood before both species and said something that would echo through history. We thought humans were chaos incarnate. We were right. But chaos, we've learned, is another word for possibility. Where we see disorder, they see opportunity. Where we see madness, they see creativity. They are not our superiors or inferiors. They are our mirrors, showing us what we could be if we were brave enough to be foolish. Ambassador Thompson, in response, did something purely human. She hugged the commander, despite the fact he could have crushed her easily. He hugged back, carefully, and the image became the symbol of the alliance. "We're still afraid of you." Vex admitted to Adams later. "Good," Adams replied. "We're afraid of us too. Keeps us honest." 1 year after first contact, the galaxy faced its first real test of the human-Krellin alliance. A hostile species known as the Void Hunters, beings who consumed energy from dying stars, had entered the sector. They'd destroyed 3 colonies in 2 weeks, and traditional military responses had failed. The Galactic Council convened in emergency session. Elder Zor, now bearing a coffee mug gift from Earth that said "World's Okayest Leader," addressed the assembly. "The Void Hunters have technology that adapts to our weapons. Each attack becomes less effective. We need new strategies." Admiral Williams stood up, and every non-human in the room instinctively tensed. They'd learned that when humans got serious, reality itself seemed to hold its breath. "You want humanity to fight?" Williams asked. "We want humanity to do what it does best," Zor replied carefully. "Be unpredictable." Williams smiled, not the warm smile of diplomacy, but something older, something that reminded everyone that humans were apex predators who had gotten bored and decided to make art instead. "Lucky," Williams called out. "You listening?" "Always, Admiral." Already analyzing their attack patterns. They're logical, predictable, and they've never heard of jazz. Jazz? Vex asked, confused. Musical chaos theory, Lucky explained. Like human warfare, but with better rhythm. Within hours, the human fleet mobilized, not just warships, but cargo haulers, mining vessels, and one ship that was legally classified as a party bus, but somehow had more weapons than a destroyer. The battle plan, when revealed, made the Krellans question their alliance. You want to do what? Commander Vex asked, reading the proposal. Asterisk.